Mr. Zhou Hanmin.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It is March 27th of 2020, and it's a great pleasure to have this conversation with you here in the beautiful city of Shanghai.
Yes, in a compound of CPPCC.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So you are a very busy person as a top leader of this big municipality. You played a very important role in the construction, actually, of this city, especially Pudong, but also you played a very important role in the success of the 2010 Shanghai World Expo, which has been a fantastic
Thank you for mentioning
success.
that.
But you are also, Mr. Zhou, everybody knows, a very important scholar, and especially a great expert in trade issues. So today, I would like to ask you, because you have been very kind in accepting to contribute to the book, China and,
Great pleasure.
and the World, and we thank you very much for that. And we would like to know, how do you see, from your perspective, the significance of the China's entry into the WTO?
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Gosset, wonderful friend of mine, of the city of Shanghai and of the people of China.
Thank you.
You have been working here so hard to enhance and promote the friendship, especially understanding between China and the rest of the world, in particular, people in Europe. Why I promise, and I have also fulfilled my promise to write, to contribute to your book. The issue is, so far as a bridge in the world is concerned, the longest and the strongest should be understanding, mutual understanding of the people, between the people, and among the people. So far as China's entering of WTO is concerned, it's truly a long story.
In fact, you would agree to say that this China joining the WTO was also a strong symbol of the fact that China was, and still is, by the way, on the path of reform and opening up.
To us, the reform started in the very year 1978. Is the second revolution of China. Yes. The revolution is still on. What is the milestone for the revolution itself? That was on the very date of December the 11th, 2001, China joined WTO.
Yes. So to a certain extent, the WTO, this system, boosted or helped China to trigger more reforms. But at the same time, so it has been a success, you have been a part of this success, but the WTO changed China, but China also changed the WTO, and now we are at a moment in time in 2020 in which this multilateral system you were mentioning, World Bank, IMF, WTO, is under pressure. So my second question, because this is a fascinating part of your article for the book China in the World, is that how do you see the future of the WTO, and what are the steps to reform and to reinvent a WTO for the 21st century, and what is the role of China in this endeavor?
When China joined WTO, China was nobody. I'll give you a few figures. In 1978, China had its debut of reform. The overall international trade figure was less than 21 billion US dollars, 1978. In 2001, China joined the WTO, then the figure in that year was 500 billion. Now, please make the comparison.
Yes.
Then, what's the figure last year? 4.6 trillion US dollars. Has been the number one trading power in the world for 5 executive years. But now, we can say very clearly, everything is in the process of changing.
Yes.
Changing is the only thing we should respect, and we should be part of it. So WTO needs fundamental reform. Who should take the lead? Big shots must. Because this is a world, for instance, the United Nations has 193 members, and WTO up to now has 164. Still, it's a big sum. You cannot asking each and every members to share the same burdens in the process of reform. Big countries need to take the lead. Who are they? Of course, G7 is a part, and BRICS is the other part. So in total, 7 plus 5. Among all those nations, 12 members should take the lead. Take the lead. Each and every nation has its own concerns. That's very natural. We are humans. However, we need to reach the consensus because WTO is based upon mutual consensus. That's the first thing first for WTO. So how to reach mutual consensus is now a big challenge towards human beings.
Yes.
Like now we are facing the pandemic. Why G20 needed to have its first meeting online? At least we can agree on something.
Yes.
Better than nothing.
Yes.
So in my mind, first, WTO need to very well amplify its major principles. WTO has quite a number of major principles. For instance, most favored nations principle, national treatment, peaceful settlement of disputes, so on and so forth. We need to amplify. Amplify meaning they are there, they are working, but we need to leave them work much better in the future. So in that sense, I contribute my article trying to focus on the relationship between China and the world, especially with WTO. All in all, China is a part of the world. The only thing we could do is try to be connecting the world in a peaceful and respectful way. We should be grateful for the whole process of negotiation of WTO, no matter how tough, demanding the negotiation itself was. Still, it gave us a lesson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zhou. And in any case, I encourage everyone to read your article because it's a way to learn about China, the entire reform and opening up process, but also the world.
Yes.
And one understands that one cannot disconnect China from the world or the world from China.
No need and no possibility.
Exactly, and in that sense, your article is also a wonderful expression of the spirit of the book. One cannot disconnect China from the world or the world from China.